Martin Luther King Jr. is one of the most celebrated figures in African American history. Martin Luther King fought for equality for all, no matter race, color, or creed. We may not be in a utopian society, but we are very close to King's dream. The civil rights movement may not have been successful without a leader who was determined to achieve equality without harming others. MLK was born as Michael King on January 15, 1929. He later changed his name to Martin Luther after the German Reformation leader. Young Martin grew up in a religious household and he was taught love for all. It baffled him when he was a target of prejudice as a child. King was an intelligent man and he entered college at the age of 15. He received a degree of sociology from Morehouse College in Atlanta. He excelled in academics and he was a vocal leader. He later went to theological seminary in Boston. While studying in Boston, King stumbled upon Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi was an Indian leader who helped India gain its independence from Great Britain. He also used non-violent methods to fight. This inspired Gandhi to use non-violent methods to achieve equality for Black people. Also in Boston, King found love in Coretta Scott. The two married and had 4 children after, and they resettled in Montgomery, Alabama. It was in Montgomery where King first got the spotlight. King started advocating for civil rights when Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat for a white man on a Montgomery public bus. King organized, along with NAACP leaders, a boycott of the Montgomery public buses. Since the majority of passengers were Black, the transit system suffered majorly. They submitted on December 21st, 1956, when desegregation reached Montgomery's transit. It was a victory for King and the civil rights movement. King's finest hour came in 1963 when he gave his famous speech, "I Have a Dream." He gave this speech during the March on Washington, in which 250,000 people, both Black and white, watched King speak in front of the Lincoln Memorial. It was symbolic as Lincoln was an important figure at freeing the slaves. The speech envisioned a society based on character, not color. 2 years later, in 1965, King was again on the move. This time he was marching from Selma to Montgomery to advocate for voting rights. Unfortunately, police used force against protesters on what is called Bloody Sunday. The protesters tried again, and this time with protection from the National Guard. A few months later, the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was signed. King seemed to making a lot of folks angry. He received death threats on the daily. Unfortunately, a man of peace succumbed to violence. On April 3rd, 1968, King gave a speech titled, "I've Been to the Mountaintop" in Memphis, Tennessee. He was staying in the Lorraine Motel. A day later, King was standing on his balcony when he was shot and killed by James Earl Ray. James Earl Ray was captured and arrested 2 months later. For many, his death was the last straw. His death sparked riots and protests across the nation. King might have died with the bullet, but his legacy did not. King was the most influential person involved in the civil rights movement. He inspired millions and he gave a good reputation for the movement. He was the face of the era. While many looked to the negatives like the Black Panthers, King was proof guns were not needed for victory. His legacy still lasts today. He has a national holiday and has streets, schools, and memorials named after him. It's clear to see why he's honored this way. These are the sources I used for this presentation. My name is Jaskaran Sidhu, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Goodbye.